11:33. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. And good morning, the larger world. We return, like promised on Monday, with COVID-19 heroes. It's such a pleasure and a delight to be here. My name is Femi Obong-Daniels, and my co-anchor is Wiebe Boer, who's reaching me via technologically enhanced opportunities, including on this occasion, like we do twice a week. So far, so good on Skype. Welcome, brother. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Good morning. It's been a tough week for Arsenal, but other than that, I'm okay.
Oh dear, it's been years, brother. Maybe one of these days you'll probably take proactive measures. I don't know what you're going to do, but maybe you look in your kitty and find some other.
Well, my other club is Plateau United, and they're actually doing a lot better, so we're good.
Okay, I'm happy for you. At least there's something to cheer about.
Right.
Good morning and welcome. Well, guys, it's a special day for us. We've got a special hero lined up, and you know all about it. As usual, Wiebe, you do us the honors.
All right, so good morning. So this morning we have a very special guest, Williams Uchemba, who I believe everybody listening knows who that is.
Yep.
So Williams, you were a child actor. From what I understand, you studied history and political science, which I also studied. So we have that in common. But what's your focus now? Like, tell us about what you're working on right now.
Yeah. Sorry, my network kind of went off there. Not much in terms of work. Of course, the COVID-19 situation have kind of like made a.
We seem to be having some network signal difficulty there. Wiebe, you are fine where you are.
Yeah, I think so. You can hear me, okay?
Yes, quite
right.
Clearly. I'm sure Williams will rejoin us, trying to do a bit of an introduction, just in case you are just joining us. Our guest on the show today is Williams Uchemba. He is the founder Williams Uchemba Foundation. And on the show today, we're talking about purpose and platform. A whole number of issues we're looking at, ticking off the boxes and you know what COVID-19 Heroes is about? It's about those on the front lines, those leading the battles, those who either circumstantially or otherwise find themselves thrust in the forefront of a campaign to help society, save society at a time of intense and overwhelming crisis. The global situation looks bleak enough, let alone the whole African situation here. So we were pondering on questions like how people can receive help. Now, Williams Uchemba's Foundation is one of those foundations set up to try and provide this help. How they can receive help, how they can get involved, whether or not they partner, collaborate with other platforms, and all of that. Our guest is a bit of everything. A child actor, some know him also as a comedian and all of that. He's multifaceted, and he was just going to give us some insight into it. As Wiebe told you at the onset, he also studied history and political sciences. So we're looking for him to rejoin us just in a moment, and then we can continue with this whole thing. It's the Nollywood guy. Everybody knows Williams Uchemba so far. And everybody who follows Williams Uchemba or who does a lot of Instagram knows Williams Uchemba. He makes you want to laugh your head off when he drops those comedy skit. But there's a whole lot more about this guy, and that's the whole essence why he's our hero and our guest on the show today. It would appear Wiebe, Williams is still having some challenges.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach him on WhatsApp. I think he's trying to get back on. I'm not sure what's going on. So this is where you, as the radio expert, need to help fill the time.
Okay, so unfortunately we would be pressed for time, and we had a long list of questions to ask Williams. I'm only hoping that we would find time enough.
Okay, he just sent a message. Can you guys call him back?
Okay, so I guess I'll get okay, yeah, where's Sunday? Good. Yep. All right. We're trying to reestablish contact. This is unfamiliar territory. But again, these things happen.
Yeah, sorry, my network went up there.
Finally.
All right.
Welcome, brother. Right. How are you doing, William?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, my network went up there.
Okay. So,
all right.
You were just about telling us what is new, what you're up to. You don't need an introduction, but just so people know what Williams Uchemba is up to. So go ahead, my brother.
Is that an introduction or I don't know. Anyway, I'm an actor, of course. I'm a humanitarian, and lately we've not been doing much, like I said before, except for the project in terms of charity works we've been doing. We realized that the COVID-19 pandemic kind of like got a lot of people, they didn't expect it coming. So a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people that, go out to get food to eat couldn't do that anymore because the restrictions now, is crazy. You can, like for example, the lady that comes to clean my house, she can't come the way she used to because, there are restrictions and all that. So it kind of affected a lot of people, especially those people at the grassroots. So what we are doing is we're trying as much as we can to reach out to as many of these people as possible, knowing that the basic necessities, which is more food and shelter, they can't afford to, get that together. So that's basically what we've been doing mostly.
Right, and tell us about you're a UN Youth Assembly rep. Has that also been part of your COVID response? I mean, is the Youth Assembly doing COVID initiatives as well?
Okay, there was a little bit of an issue that came up 2 years ago about the situation. I was the Deputy Nigerian Youth Representative to the United Nations Youth Assembly. Now, the Youth Assembly has been collaborating with the UN since 2004, and that ended about 3 years ago.
Oh, right? I see. Okay.
So right now, the United Nations is no longer with the Youth Assembly. So when that issue came up, there were a lot of misconceptions and misunderstanding. So I was working with the Youth Assembly. So basically my job was to be a bridge between the Nigerian youth and the Youth Assembly. Of course, to talk about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and its 169 targets, the global project, and how we can empower youth and get all this going, So ever since that happened, I kind of like took a break, withdrew, because there were, I don't know if you guys knew, it blew up everywhere, I got a call because I was with the president 2 months prior to that. So I got a call from the presidency, and it was a big issue. And when the whole thing was sorted out, nobody actually, Nigeria, nobody wanted to know the truth. They've put out what they want to put out, So while I was there, my job basically was to get the most of the Nigerian youths, because of the platform I have, to New York for the conference. But after the UN kind of like ended that relationship with the Youth Assembly, the relationship kind of went a little bit sour. So, now I think they use the University of New York for their conferences.
Okay.
All right. Let me quickly ask you 2 questions in one. One is, look, I enjoy your comedy skits on Instagram a whole lot. And a whole lot of people do too. I wonder what the inspiration is. Whether people can hope to see you do some stand-up comedy someday. But the more important question is about your foundation. How did the Williams Uchemba Foundation start, and what was your motivation?
Okay, so December 2017, I came into Nigeria from the US. So on my way from the airport to my house in Lagos, I saw a man in his mid 60s. I could tell his age because he kind of looked like my father. He was hawking ice cream, this road ice cream they sell 15 naira on the traffic. And while he was doing that, the traffic started moving. So he was chasing down this car he was trying to make a transaction with, but the traffic moved. So he missed the step and fell into the car lane, and an oncoming truck, a bus that didn't see him, cleared him and killed him right on the spot.
Oh dear.
And right in front of me, this happened. And this man died. And he didn't die because he was an armed robber. He didn't die because he was a kidnapper. He simply died because he was trying to fend for his family. I'm trying to imagine how much he made that day, or he was trying to make to go feed his family. And ever since that night, I couldn't sleep, because coming from a first world country to my country, I realized that we can't even provide necessities, the basic needs, for our citizens. And it kind of broke my heart. And, while I was in America, I was having that passion. When I see these videos on Instagram and what people go through, it kind of breaks me. So coming back to Nigeria was a bit strategic. I didn't intend to stay this long. I've been around for about 2 years now, a year plus. I didn't intend to stay this long, but when I started the project, I started a project called the Gift Challenge, because the next day I saw another man that was selling Christmas lights, and this the same scenario. So I was panicking for him. I gave him about, I think, $60. I said, just leave the road. And I looked, there were a lot of people on the road, and I said, I can't help all those people myself. So what I did was to do a gift challenge, and what that means is I can only help one person at a time, but if I am able to help one person and put it on my page, and let's say I have 2.6 million followers, if 10% of that number does the same thing, I'm getting 260,000 people off the street. I believe that is what my platform is for, to reach as many people as we can positively. And we tried that, and it was really working that period. People were doing it in China, in different places. And ever since then, the passion and the desire to get people, especially people from the slums, from that state has been in my heart.
So, and how has this this challenge, has it evolved during the COVID response, as part of the COVID response? Are you still doing this?
Yes, currently I have 2 projects. By Saturday, we are feeding 1,000 people somewhere in Kota. There's a slum there. We are feeding 1,000 people. Next tomorrow, which is on Friday, we are getting 2 people off the streets from the slum. So it's rainy season period, and you don't want to go to the slums. It's crazy. People sleep inside water, and they live in batches, And I saw 2 families that have kids, and we are currently on the project as I speak. After this, I'm going to the site where we are getting a house. We are furnishing it for them, and we are going to be giving them some funds to start up a business, because sometimes the problem is not helping them at the time. It's sustainability. It's okay, you've brought them out from here, what's the next thing for them? So we don't only get them out, furnish house for them, and we also give them capital to start up a business, and we follow up to make sure that money is well utilized. And
interesting. Our records show that beyond what you are currently doing, you've done so much of this in the past, and thousands have benefited. So 2 questions in that regard. The challenges you face doing this, and then the impact that you can be proud of that you're seeing.
Oh my goodness. I might go a little spiritual here, but the challenge is...
Preach it. It's fine. Preach it.
Most of those people that you're trying to get off from this bondage are coming from a place where some people have said that they are not supposed to be somebody. And when you're trying to lift somebody up from such things, you have to contend with whatever foundation they are coming from. I recently had an attack, which I'm going to put out on social media, that actually sent me to the hospital. And while I was in that hospital bed, I clearly heard a voice say to me, you think you can just help people like that? This one is going to be your last. You're going to die on this bed. And thank God I have praying people around me, and I'm a praying person as well, but what I realize is that the devil is not interested in what God is not interested in. So when God gives you this mandate, the devil will try to make sure that this doesn't happen. Because what I started seeing was people started doing the things I do, and they don't want that. They don't want something positive. So the attack comes, but because I've been given the mandate, I believe this thing I'm doing. I do sometimes 6 projects in 1 week. I don't know how I do it. I just do what people plan for 6 months to do. I do it in 2 days. And I know it's not by my power, my capacity, but I've been given the grace to do that. And the benefits are enormous. First, peace of mind, knowing that that child is not going to sleep in that slum today. That child is in an air-conditioned room, sleeping while it's raining. Those are the things that, because when I see these things, I put myself in their shoes and I can't sleep. I literally lose sleep until I do something about it. So the benefits, the advantage weighs more than the disadvantage. But why we can be able to withstand the disadvantage, which is some of these attacks we get, is because we've been empowered, we've been given the grace to do it. So I'm not shaking on that.
I must say that I'm not particularly surprised, and I can relate. I mean, somebody once said to me, people like you can't succeed because the reason why you won't succeed is that you are trying to help people. There are forces that will come against that don't want people helped and all of that. So, just with what you were saying now, that, those words were coming back to me. So I can totally relate. Don't feel like, and we're going to see. I'll be on the lookout on your Instagram page when you put this information out. Wiebe, you've got a question.
Yeah, so Williams, I mean, you mentioned you have 2.6 million followers on Instagram. I mean, you could have just sat back on your couch and sent messages, whatever, and actually created some impact that way for people to address poverty, to help with the COVID response. But you're actually doing that plus going out and physically rolling up your sleeves and helping people. What was the motivation? Why did you decide to put yourself out there?
One thing I believe is people, especially some people that are celebrities, they don't know the power of the platform they have, which is what this topic is about, purpose and platform. Now, if you understand how powerful you are as an influencer, for someone to call you a role model, you have to earn it. It's not just something you do because you're on TV. You have to earn it. And for me, I believe that the reason why my platform was given, which is the 2.6 billion followers, was for the purpose of the platform, which is to reach out to people and empower people positively. There is a reason why such number is given to you. It's not just given to you to take nice pictures and post beautiful cards. No, you have that number so that you can reach out to people and you can use that platform. I post something, everybody sees it. Why shouldn't I use that to heal my nation? Nigeria is going through so much right now. The least I want to do is to contribute to it by posting a whole lot of, I'm not saying there's anything wrong when you buy a new car or when you have a new house, you post it, but you're putting our young people under pressure. You're making them feel that, they have to go and do some fraud or steal to achieve that life. Sometimes you don't even tell them the truth of how those things come about. So I believe as a young person, my job to this generation is not only to lead them right, but to show them how to do it, because it is always better to say it, but when you show them how it's being done, it's easier for them to emulate that and to follow that. So this is the reason I believe this platform was given to me. And any platform without a purpose can destroy somebody. So if you have a platform and you don't know the purpose of that platform, it can ruin you.
So you just summarized the topic for our conversation, which is purpose and platform. What is the purpose of your platform and what do you use it for? And all of that. That's pretty insightful. My final question will be this. So your foundation does all this. You have the 1 million naira challenge. You have the Give challenge and social media and all of that. And someone is listening right now and saying, okay, how can Williams Uchemba Foundation help me? Or how can I get involved? Some people don't have money to give you, but they like to volunteer. They're like, wow, I would like to join. So Do you partner or do you collaborate with other platforms?
Actually, when I started this, I didn't know it was going to be this big. I just wanted to help people, and I wanted to use my platform to reach out to people. When the foundation kind of became bigger than myself, I knew there was a need to collaborate with people. Currently, we have friends and families that once in a while contribute in what we're doing. And the 1 million challenge that I put out was not for everybody. It was basically for my colleagues that I know can afford $1 million to help people. And it wasn't send 1 million to me. It was more of, go take 1 million and go and buy food for people or give people in cash. So when Don Jazzy contacted me and said, I want to send you my 1 million, I said, no, it's not for you to give to me. It is a challenge. You do it on your own platform. So he said, I don't have the team you have. I don't have the logistics you have. So if you can do that on my behalf. And one of the things I tried to do was also to be transparent with how that fund was used. So when we took that money and bought foodstuffs, we made sure we put it out there and we showed what we used every penny of that money to do, and mentioned, sorry, I think my light just went off, and mentioned what the money was used for. So aside from that, the Williams Uchemba Foundation has been solely funded by myself. The little monies I make from my endorsements, my skits, and a couple of all those things I do. And, my real estate, I do side business on real estate as well. But lately we found out that we could achieve more if we get people involved. So what we started doing was to have people contribute as little as 500 naira, 1,000 naira. And, that has kind of helped me in a lot of ways. So project that I should spend maybe a certain amount of money, if we gather this 500 naira, we know that we have 40% of it, and I know I'm bringing 60%. It's been a little bit slow, but it's really been impactful. And the fact that Nigerians are contributing to this is something that I'm very, very passionate about. And I show them how every penny is spent, because you have to be transparent with dealing with things that have to do with public.
Yeah. So you mentioned your infrastructure and logistics. So just tell us a bit, how institutionalized is the foundation? I mean, do you have a full-time team, or is it volunteers, or is it all you?
I just have 4 major people in my team. Okay. Then sometimes people want to volunteer, but you also have to understand that most people that come for volunteers sometimes need help as well. We've had cases where people come to say, I want to volunteer. Then after that, they'll say, Williams, I have a problem. You need to help me. And if you go to my DM, there are thousands of them. So sometimes it can be quite overwhelming for me to, cater for everybody at the same time. So what we do is we try as much as we can to work with the in-house team, which are the people I've been with for the past couple of years now. And we get the work done. We try as much as we can to work with what we have, except we have very big projects, then we will need more hands, and, pick 1 or 2 volunteers that can help us achieve that.
Okay. All right.
Williams Uchemba, this has been very, very insightful. I'm super, super proud of the work you do. And I know you will not relent. I have no doubt in my mind. We're looking forward to a time when we can go past this pandemic period, and then those people who have made the ultimate sacrifices sometimes and just going out of their way to help other people. And these are the people we should celebrate, and which is the reason why you are our guest today. Thank you for all you do, and I can confidently say, well done. I was just going to ask, you didn't quite say, will people see you do stand-up comedy one day?
I'm honestly not a stand-up comedian. I'm more of I'm a performing art, right? These are 2 different patterns, right? Yeah, I'm a performing artist. That's not to say if I go on stage, I wouldn't say 1 or 2 things that will crack you up. But
fantastic.
I don't see myself going full-time into stand-up comedy. But I see myself making good comedy movies that you go and watch on Netflix and in the cinema.
Perfect. Our eyes are peeled, our ears are open. Well done. You are our hero.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I think to add in, I mean, it's amazing what you're doing, but also remember there's something they used to say that laughter is the best medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in a time like this of crisis, of just everything seeming to go wrong, even just making people laugh is a very important thing. So
exactly,
even, do the feeding, do everything else, but keep making us laugh, because that's really, really important.
I think I put a couple of skits out there. There's one like a barrister that keeps getting into trouble.
Okay.
It's on my Instagram. Yeah. So that is what.
Keep them coming.
All right,
sure.
all right,
All right.
guys.
Thank
Williams,
you so much.
Williams Uchemba is the CEO, founder of the Williams Uchemba Foundation, our guest and our hero today. And you can follow on Instagram. He is by that name at Williams Uchemba on Instagram and other social media platforms. Wiebe, we gotta go. But next week we are working on some slight changes, aren't we?
Yes, we are. So our format is gonna move to just doing the show on Wednesday. And we have a guest by the name of Thelma Ekior, who's doing a lot to help women-owned businesses survive this pandemic. So she'll be talking to us about that.
Okay, perfect. So join us next week when we meet another of our heroes. Meanwhile, Power Solutions is being cooked up to return. My name is Femi Obong-Daniels and hero today, Williams Uchemba. Have a splendid rest of the week. And whatever you do, remember to stay safe.
So you guys are doing an amazing job.
Bye-bye, brother.
Thanks, Williams. Have a great week.
You too.
Set your time on 99.3 Nigeria Info, the correct time.